Hi, welcome to Maree. My name's Sue. Today I'm not going to bake for you and share a recipe, but I want to share 6 tips on why I think baking is, I say baking's my yoga. It's a way to relax. I often will bake, but not always video or film, because I find it's more relaxing for me to actually just create and bake and not worry about whether I'm filming and producing perfect content for you. So today I want to give you my 6 tips on why I think baking is a great way to relax. I've just written them on my computer, so I'm going to share a link to all of these tips in the description below. So I'm just going to read through them. So one thing I really like doing is setting the mood. So I might put my plant behind me to have a little bit of greenery. I might put candles on. I don't always film with those things, but I like them near me when I'm baking in my kitchen. So it creates a sense of calm and a peaceful atmosphere. You mightn't see this because I don't always film it, but I always like to clean my space before I start. So I make sure, my fruit is out of the way, so I need the bench. I might, clear everything, wipe the bench down. I often have some hot water in the sink because I find it easier to clean as I go. So I might put that there if I'm making dough so I can wash my hands quickly. And it's just a great way to prepare your space before you start. This is something I'm always trying to perfect, is taking it slow. I'm often rushing in the kitchen, but when I take it slow. Today I took it slow. I did some filming shots for you to see how I do my processes, and it's much more relaxing and calmer if I can breathe and take it slow and I'm not rushing around the kitchen and on a tight timeline. This is really important if you're baking bread. So for instance, if I need 3 hours to bake bread, I don't try and squeeze it in 2 because I know I don't have enough time. This is hard if you're, a busy mum or you're working full time and you don't, find time to do it. But on the weekend, if you just want to, cozy up and it's a cold day or rainy day outside, just set aside a few hours and bake some cupcakes or bake some muffins. They often won't take as long as baking bread. You can bake cookies within 10 minutes. So something like that, just so it's you can take your time and do it. Number 4, focus on the process and not perfection. I've had many failures, and probably a negative that I don't always share those with you. So maybe this year I'm going to be a bit more real and share some of the things that don't always work. So for instance, if I bake some cookies and for some reason I'm not focusing and I bake them too close together and they turn out like stuck together and they don't look perfect, they still taste great. And it's all about how they taste and the process of baking and not the perfection. So remember this. Engage your senses. This is one just to, there's a tip that they say when you're selling a house is to bake a cake so you've got that aroma coming through the kitchen when people walk in to view your apartment or your house for sale. That's the same aroma and senses that are enlivened when you're baking a cake or you're baking bread at home. It's just, I find it fantastic, like a great way to stimulate your stimulate your senses and your nose so you are enlivened with that kind of flavor sensation. Like you can smell the cinnamon in your cookies, or you can smell that melted chocolate as you've just baked your chocolate chip cookies, which I did today. And number 6, share your results. So this morning I test baked some chocolate chip cookies, and I messaged a neighbour because I bumped into her earlier on. I said, would you like some cookies? Because I made so many and there's only 2 of us. And she said, fantastic, I'd love some. So it's always a great way to share what you've baked. Even if you don't think they're perfect, people love homemade cookies or homemade bread. So celebrate what you've done and share it with friends, family, or your neighbours. I love baking, and I hope you can be inspired to bake something simple. Even if you're not very confident, start with, I'll put some links up above or down below. Start with cookies or cupcakes. They don't take too long. and there's not a lot of time that you need to invest to do it. And then when you get a bit more confident, maybe do a cake or do some bread. So I hope you've enjoyed my tips on how I find baking relaxing. Baking's my new yoga. Thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed my tips. Hej då from Sweden.